Hey y'all, welcome back to the Texas Boys. Thank y'all once again for clicking on this video / podcast. We're going to be sitting down today, and our main topic of the video, it might vary, but the main topic of the video is raising up the next generation of people to fight the good war here on this earth. And as crazy as things are looking out there, I think we have to keep fighting the war. It's well worth it. And fight for our freedoms, fight for our rights, and serve the Lord with all of our heart, minds, and souls. So there you go. There's your intro to the podcast.
Sounds like a great topic. Grab something cozy and warm. Put your earbuds in if you're listening to this as a podcast, and let's just jump into it.
Yeah.
Oh, before we do though, a very, very kind family sent us some cookies. So did you want to talk about and show those cookies real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. So we got some different cookies from Crooked Tail Family Farm. So crookedtailfamilyfarm.com. Go check them out. Not sponsored. They, my dad bought some fig tree cuttings from them, and they sent us some cookies, and we're like, hey, why not? We'll just go ahead and show them. We tasted them. They're like to die for. Just go check them out. Tell them that the Texas Boys sent you there.
You got a key lime sugar cookie, and then you have like some kind of triple chocolate
super
madness
good.
there.
Oh, yeah.
They're really good. So go check out their website. We'll leave a link for you below for that.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to take the opportunity real quickly to share with y'all my planner one more time. I worked on this really hard last year, putting this together for you all, and this is going to give you summer layouts, winter layouts, student goals, track your harvest, monthly budgets, notes for dads and substitutes when you have to leave the farm as a mom, notes for farm centers, pantry inventory, household inventory, freeze-dried inventory, seasonal clothing inventory, garden planner, fall planting plans, livestock planner, stock records, laying bird logs, meat bird logs, emergency backpack lists, evacuation lists, and family emergency planning.
Wow.
So
there you go.
It's all in here. You can organize for anything from your daily home management, your chores, to your life. It's going to all be doable in this book. You can use it as a tool, rip it up, tear it up.
Yeah.
You can also print it off on our website as a PDF, put it in a real pretty 3-ring binder, and make it your own. Really happy about that, excited about that. If you're looking for the hard copy, I'll leave the link for that below for you.
Of lately, there's been a lot in the news with these very feminine men, and they've been complaining. I was watching the Matt Walsh show, and there was this guy, supposedly a guy, I guess, on there, and he was complaining how terrible it was that society wanted him to work to stay alive.
Whoa.
Yeah. And it's very sad how our culture is moving and things like that. It's very, very sad. And it's a terrible thing. And I think that's one of the biggest blessings that y'all have done with training us kids is that. Real quick, I want to tell y'all about the best way to support this channel. If you're loving the content that you're watching right now and you want to support us, I would love for you to go check out TheTexasBoys.com, where we sell our locally sourced, farm fresh, non-pasteurized, non-vaccinated honey in 1 gallon, 5 pound, 44 ounce, 22 ounce, 1 pound, and 14 ounce honeys. We got pumpkin spice honey, we got pecan honey, both creamed honeys. This is just a normal 1 pound honey. Both of these are creamed, and then these are just in their awesome raw state honey. Moving on, we have our native brew coffee line with several more coffees than this, but we have Columbia, Southern Pecan, Hazelnut, Jamaica Me Crazy, and Vanilla here on the table. Absolutely incredible coffees. Go check them out. So this right here is our native mushroom brew. I absolutely love this. If you're not a coffee fan, or maybe even if you are, I would love for you to go try this stuff out. 7 different types of mushrooms, and also we have a native mud version of this too, and that has cocoa powder in it. And what I really love to do with this stuff is put a scoop of it in my coffee. And y'all, that is absolutely incredible. So go check out the Texas Boys today. I'll let y'all get back to your video. Just teaching us basic life principles. You know, living on a farm, working really hard. If you want anything in life, pray for it, ask God for it, and work stinking hard for it.
Right.
You know, it's not going to get given to you unless God gives it to you. And don't be a spoiled little brat about stuff, you know? And yeah, so I just wanted to talk about that in today's video is, you know, raising the next generation, being the next generation.
And I think that you can do that from a really young age. You can instill in your children a really strong work ethic, and you can just bring them alongside of you. And just, I mean, when they're toddlers, you can teach them how to load and unload the dishwasher or put the dishes away for you, and just little things, making your house child friendly. I mean, I kind of took some ideas even out of the like Montessori school handbook as far as like making things accessible to my children and making them child proof. So instead of like fancy, beautiful dishes, we just have like stainless steel camping ware dishes, you know, and that's for a purpose. Number one, it's really simple. You stack them up, you know what you have, and it's minimal. But number two is kids can stack them, kids can drop them. You're not going to be upset. They're not going to get scratched and destroyed. So kind of taking that philosophy and applying it to all the different areas of your household management, making it so easy that a young child can help you with that it's not too intimidating for them, you know. And I start very, very young and teaching them to be self-reliant, that they cook for themselves, that they make food for themselves. And not that I don't make food for my family, I do. But I think it's really an important life skill that they know how to come in the kitchen or come in the house and feed themselves. And from the time that they are very little and very young, I would say like 5 years old, they're cooking eggs, they're making peanut butter sandwiches. I mean, basic things, but they can get some things out of the refrigerator. They can make some things. And I just think it's a really great thing. There is sacrifice with that. Your kitchen is not going to be perfectly clean.
No.
Your cabinets are not going to be perfectly clean. You're going to have little kids spilling things and stuff like that. But that is the beauty of raising them up to be adults. And we always say that, my husband and I, we're not raising children, we're raising adults.
Yeah.
You know, we don't talk to them like they're little children. When it's appropriate, you do, but at other times you're raising the bar. You're just, if they're 2 years old, you're treating them maybe like they're 5 years old. You're just always raising that bar, and they rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
Like, it's just amazing how they will just come right up to that level.
It's been the biggest blessing in my life that mom and dad have let us boys be able to take the bull by the horns and really get out of our shells and try all types of new stuff. And whenever we have some crazy idea, they're 99% of the time totally okay with it, within reason. And it's just always so nice to know that if I have a crazy idea, I can go up to mom and dad, and if they don't totally agree with it, normally they'll come back and be like, hey, great idea, but I think it would be more profitable or better done like this or whatever. But normally 99% of the time they're like, yeah, go ahead, do it, try it out, you know? And I think that's one of the best things, because I think nowadays there's so many guys out there that are just not confident in themselves, and they're like, I really don't know what I can do.
Sure.
Or fill in the blank.
Right.
And it's a very sad thing, because there's so many jobs out there.
Yeah, there's so much opportunity.
We're in this weird predicament, y'all. And the weird predicament is that there's loads of jobs. Like, people need workers. And on the same hand, there's homeless people. And the sad thing is that, these businesses, they need workers, but they don't need useless workers. They need people that are actually going to work. So my dad was passing by a business and it said, "We don't hire stupid people." I was like, that is so awesome. And only in Texas. Maybe there might be some other southern state, but I'm just saying that is awesome. We don't hire stupid people. And y'all, it's as easy as that. Don't be stupid. Think for yourself. Get there 10 minutes early for the job. You will rise to the top of the top by just doing that. I had a buddy that's what he did, and he became manager of a business within 2 months of being there.
Yeah.
Just boom.
That's absolutely true. And I know back when we were first married, my husband and I, we were both in college full time, and we met this really interesting couple that they were not pursuing the college path. And they were young, very young. They were married, and they were just like, no, we just decided that rather than put 4 years into college and accrue a whole lot of debt and all of that, we would rather invest 4 years into a company and work our ways up and see how it went.
That's so smart.
And she was managing an employment agency, like a staffing agency, within just like a couple years' time. It was amazing. And he had worked his way up with an electrical company and was making a lot of money doing electrical work. And they have made out just fine in life. Extremely fine in life. And I know there is a time and place for college if you're pursuing something very specific, like you want to be a lawyer or you want to be a doctor. And I do believe that the Lord gives gifts for certain things. And that is just like, you have to, but I would still encourage young people that, if at all possible, to do as much study as you can at home
and online,
until you have to go and you have no other choice.
And don't go to college for silly, stupid stuff like anything electrical related to like tech, because there are so many courses and things that you can do for tech online. It is so silly, and it is a big waste of time to go to college for it.
Yeah.
It just is, period, end of story. If it's nothing hands-on, like, being a doctor or a lawyer and things like that, I would highly recommend doing all your studies and things like that at home.
Yes, and when you're looking, if we're talking to young people on here, if you're looking around at different colleges, say you did pick one of these professions that you do need a college degree, like it can't happen without a college degree, right? Well, you could, I would suggest that you look around and shop around and find the most inexpensive way that there is to get that undergraduate degree. So you're not paying double or triple the amount just to say, I went to this prestigious school for my undergraduate degree. I would much prefer, I think it's much wiser, and you're going to save time, you're going to save a lot of money, just staying home and being able to study at home and price it out. Definitely price it out. But for the 75 to 80%, I'll just say, of the young people out there that are not going to need a college degree, because like you said, things have changed. I mean, it's so narrow now what you actually need a college degree for. Most things are self-taught, or you can go to a technical school and learn different things. I mean, or it's just hands-on while you're there working, you learn that trade or whatever. So I think those 4 years or 8 years, whatever you're going to do, is going to be probably in most cases much better invested with you actually doing it and working your way up and learning, getting that experience in.
Yeah, and the other thing with coming back around to raising the next generation, the other thing that I would highly recommend, and what mom and dad have done for us kids, is they've procured land. That's been the biggest burden off of me and my brother's backs. I mean, and I think for most kids too, because when most kids are thinking about growing up and stuff, it's one of the biggest things. Okay, I'm going to have to save up all this money or get into a lot of debt and buy a house, buy some land, and start the whole dang thing over again.
Yes.
And I think it was just a big, big blessing that the Lord blessed us with a good chunk of land that our whole family can live on. We can all build our houses on. So us kids are already so in head, which is so great because I don't really have to think about procuring the land, clearing the land as much. Now I can be like, I already got the land. It's almost cleared now. I'm still clearing it. And I'm just a couple steps away from starting my house and stuff like that. So I think that's one of the things, definitely setting your kids up. Or if you're thinking about having kids, think about that, and it is a sacrifice when you want to start your own family, but it's a sacrifice well invested because you will reap the reward in the long run, and you will thank yourself a million times over for doing it. And, the other thing that I know we get a lot of questions is they're like, well, how do you have your kids like not rebel and, just like go crazy off the rocker? Well, as much as a lot of people like to plug their ears and scream to the top of their lungs so they can't hear what I'm about to say, there has to be a family dynamic, and there has to be a father, a real true father that is the patriarch, and a mother, a very submissive mother. And if those two things, if it's flipped the opposite way, yes, it will fall apart because that's not how the Lord designed it. So having those two solid rocks as your children's foundations with God in there, also then that couple or, the father and the mother then have to be settled on a sound Bible, the King James Version, and they got to be sounded in it and sounded in the faith, because without that, your kid's going to ask you a question. You're going to be like, oh crap, what the heck am I going to respond to? When you always have the Bible to fall back on. Be like, no, it actually says this right here. And if anybody doubts you, they're doubting God.
Right.
And if anybody thinks anything otherwise, they're doing that all towards God and not towards you, because it wasn't your words, it's his words,
right?
So
you're right. You're absolutely right. I love that. And you cannot build a house without a foundation. And I think that our foundation,
you have to build it on the rock,
has always been God. And when me and Daddy got married, it was God. Why we chose each other was because of God. That is our foundation. That's what holds it all together. That is the glue that holds it all together.
Yeah, without God, our family would have been a living dumpster fire, and we would be in a million different places. You and Dad would have probably got divorced. We would be living in several different homes all at the same time, and it would be a train wreck.
It would be a train wreck.
Literally.
So, that is a really, really important thing when we're talking about the next generation. You do have to have the foundation right. And once you have that foundation right, and you have order set up in your home, biblical order set up in your home, where then you can build on that. So that way you have the parents honoring the children, and the children honoring the parents, and that family team and family dynamic all working
family unit
so perfectly together. And another thing that I was just thinking in a couple things. One is, yes, when you're building that work ethic from those little children, just like reminding them how needed they are. Like that was a big thing that I always said, like, I need you. I need your help with this. I need you. I need you. And that it really becomes a reality really quickly that you do really need them. Like that, it's a thing that you say when they're little to make them feel good. but really they're just slowing you down from putting the dishes away, or they're making a mess in the kitchen trying to make pancakes.
Yeah.
But later it's like, I really need you. Okay, we're busy doing this. Can you
Yeah.
go inside and start dinner? I need you to do that, or whatever it is. So that's really wonderful and awesome. And, creating that vision, I don't think you have to have like acres and acres of land. I mean,
No.
it's a heritage, it's a legacy. If you can do it, it does come with a lot of sacrifice. There's other places that we could have spent our money rather than
Yeah, of
land.
course.
We could have bought a bigger house. We could have,
Fill in the
moved
blank.
and bought a bigger house.
Yep.
We could have had fancier things, but
Fancier
we
cars,
just decided, my husband and I, that our priority was our children. We were going to invest in them in every way possible, in their education, in their futures, and we wanted to give them the gift of land. Like, that is their future that we can see. That so we saved every bit that we could, and when the land comes available at a decent price, we try to work towards getting that if the Lord would have it. But you don't need a ton of land. I mean, we've seen families that just keep building onto their house, and
Yeah, exactly.
that's a place to start. And
Yeah.
that's like, even in a town, in a little neighborhood, if the building codes aren't super crazy, you could have your children just build on another wing to the house, and that could be their starter home, or put a little tiny house in the backyard, or have a let them do a school bus conversion and park a school bus, somewhere, and
There's
live.
all types of stuff
There's
to do.
there's so many things that they could do,
Yeah.
and I think it just takes thinking outside of the box.
Definitely.
So just helping them to see that vision of the future, and once you just help them along a little bit, it will become their own, and then they can take it and run with it and make it their own. And then all you have to be is the cheerleader behind them. But sometimes kids do need direction. Sometimes they are like, I have no idea what I want to do. I don't know. And that's where you can come up beside them and say, okay, I think this is a good idea.
For now.
I do
Yeah.
that all the time with y'all. Like, hey, how about a little roadside stand? How about if we do this? How
Yep.
about if you went into town and did this, or whatever?
Fill in the
Like,
blank.
I'm always, how about if we put a little more time into your sawmill business? Or, they need that direction. They can't just be left to themselves,
Yeah.
because that's why the Lord gave them to you as young people, and even as young adults. I mean, we're here to support them. And if they need guidance, that's what we're here for. Like,
Yep. So that kind of ties right into the whole homesteading thing. And I absolutely love the homesteading thing from, the age of whenever I could start remembering.
yeah, 3.
Like 3, yeah. Pretty much all of my memories are filled with homesteading. Like, that's kind of all I know is just homesteading and working with animals and holding chickens, holding ducks. And would have never thought in a million years of being in Texas and having horses and cattle and things like that. But I think it's one of the best things for children, especially when they're like small little children, is, being able to get outside whenever they want,
Right.
and just being able to go outside, play with their imagination, let it run wild. And if you got animals, it's just incredible. It's like the building blocks that are just perfect for kids, because you can start it out real light. You could just be like, hey, you want to go help me feed chickens? Jed is in the stage right now, my little brother. He's in the stage. He's about 7 years old, and he's right at the age where he's now wanting to do it. He's like, okay, I want to go do the chores with you.
Yeah.
And not just go do the chores, but he wants to do the chores. Like,
He wants to learn.
yeah, he wants to learn. So he's
Yeah.
like, tell me what you want me to do. And it's kind of really cool that all of a sudden he's like, I want to do them. And it's so great. So just showing him, he's seen it for his whole entire life, but he just wants to learn how you do everything,
Yeah.
what the system is. We only fill up the water once a week, or we check it every day, but normally we only fill it up once a week, and how many times we got to fill up the chickens feed. And even as simple as, hey, go collect the eggs. That's the biggest thing for the little ones. Go collect the eggs.
Yeah.
And then they run out there and collect the eggs.
Yeah. So yeah, my little ones, they love collecting eggs. They collect eggs like multiple times a day. They bring them in and they put them away in the refrigerator, and they do a good job with it. We don't have too many casualties, so
No,
they do a pretty
not
good
normally.
job with it. They're doing really good. They're really excited about learning how to hatch out eggs and all of that. So that's really cool. It's really cool. But I was just thinking, yeah, naturally on a farm, even if it's just an acre of land, if you have some chickens, if you have, I don't know, a couple goats or something. We had dairy goats,
Yeah.
the little dairy goats before. It just teaches responsibility by nature. You're going to have to haul in feed bags. You're going to
Yeah.
have to fill up feeders. You're going to have to shovel out a animal pen or structure, and and the children just grow up doing those types of things. So it's not just like work is just woman's work where it's like in the house vacuuming and cooking and cleaning
No.
and stuff. I mean, my boys did those things as little ones, they did, but as they became older and became young men, there's good gritty man work to do outside that
Yeah.
that they can really dive into, and then they get into building and building coops and just doing all kinds of things like that. And I just think that's so good. And even if you just have garden or fruit trees and things like that to teach them, build an orchard together, it's just really it's just a blessing. And I don't think that it's I don't think that we're isolating anybody by saying like you can do it large scale, you can do it medium scale, you could do it super small scale. And
yeah.
we've done it on all of those,
All the scales.
all the scales. We've done it. And
Maybe not super large, but we've
Yeah.
definitely conquered small and medium. So
yeah,
Yeah.
I think we've definitely done small and medium at this point, and it's a lot of growth. It's a lot of team
Yeah.
working together, and it is like, I mean, when I go outside, I went outside this afternoon for a little while, and there's so much to do. Like there's never not anything
Yeah.
to do. So I just gathered up a whole bunch of brush and
Yeah.
just different stuff and started a burn pile. And it's like, if the me 9 years ago could have seen the me today that's
Yeah.
still burning brush and having burn piles, I would be like, wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
How is there possibly still brush on this property 9
Yeah, right.
years later? But it's perpetual.
Perpetual.
It's just
Yeah.
the work never
Maintenance, yeah.
ends. Yep. So anyway.
So the next thing I wanted to talk about is the joy in working with your hands and making money. And then the other thing is blessing other people. And I think that's been one of the biggest things in my life of recent, being able to bless other people and work really hard and being able to get some things for ourselves or whatever. But mainly what feeds my soul is blessing other people that truly need it. One of the biggest things of my life that was back in 2021, Mr. Larry was in desperate need of hay. And he never asked for help. You know, that's just what Texans do. You don't ask for help unless it's real minor, like, hey, you want to come have some fun, like cut up a cow or chainsaw with us or something like that. But nothing when it comes to financial anything.
Right.
So anyway, I noticed and I started doing my math on his hay bales and things like that. And I was like, okay, well, he only has 100 hay bales and he has so many cows. I'm like, he's going to need at least, at bare minimum, 200 round bales.
Right.
So I started thinking. I'm like, well, we could just start go get funding. And we raised about $10,000 in the course of like a week or two. And it was absolutely incredible. And we told the hay guy what we were doing, the guy that we got the hay from, and he thought it was the most incredible thing ever. And we kept it a secret from Mr. Larry for the whole entire time. Y'all can go watch that video. I'll link it up here. It was absolutely incredible seeing his face. And we got to film him before, like right as he saw it too, which was like the best part. And they were crying and stuff like that. It was great.
Yeah.
It was awesome. But no, blessing people definitely is one of the best things in the Christian life. You know, I think you just don't get the same joy when you're not a Christian and blessing people. There's some people that are out there and they'll bless you, but then inwardly, you know that they're like kind of grieving in the inside, like, oh, I wish they didn't ask for it or whatever, you know. But giving out of the kindness of your heart and always being ready and willing, and that's what us boys always strive for.
Right.
And always being there, because also we live in Northeast Texas and it's hard for people to get somewhere and help you out in a reasonable time and fashion. So we're trying to set an example and getting there like pretty quick. So anyway, yeah. And just the joy of working is definitely a good thing. Getting dirty, getting sweaty, and working really hard and proving it to people. As kids, if you are a young man or a child, you're going to have to prove it to everybody. We always had to, even though as hard as we work, we always got to prove it to the newest person. And then once we prove it to them, they're like, wow, they can really work. And yeah, so there's definitely lots of joy in working. God will definitely bless you if you work hard and bless people. And yeah, and it's been a real big blessing in my life, and God's blessed me for it. Way more than I ever deserve. And that's why I want to just keep blessing other people, because God's blessed me with so much. So
Yeah, it is fun to bless people. And I always encourage the kids to just look for things that you can give away, you know, even just in the small things. Like you say, well,
Yep.
I couldn't raise money for somebody that was in need in a big way.
Exactly.
Yeah, but just look through your closet. Maybe you have something, you know, that you can give to a donation store. If you don't have any specific person that you know that needs it, or you can go drop off at a baby center or a birthing center. You can drop off baby items, or, you know, women's shelters. Just look for ways to be a blessing in the little things, and there's just huge blessing in that. Like,
Absolutely.
There's so much blessing in that. And especially if you're giving away things that were special to you at one time, and then you're like, wow, somebody's going to find this and really be blessed by it. Like, you know, so that's just really fun to think about. And,
alrighty, y'all. I think that's the end of the podcast. Thank y'all so much for watching or listening in. I would love for you to thumbs up today's video. And also, if you would want to listen in or watch more content like this, please hit the subscribe button. It helps our family out amazingly. And with all that said, y'all, love y'all so much, and we'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.